Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is James and you're watching Wonderful World, and with me today is my ball python Jerry. And I know I'm going to show my age with this next comment, but when I was a teenager, I loved to go to Karma record stores to buy records. And one of my favorite things about those stores was how they smelled so strong of Gonish brand incense. And that's a smell that really brings back a lot of memories for me. And I would love to burn some of that stuff in here if it were safe for the reptiles, but it's not. One thing every keeper should know about caring for reptiles and amphibians is that air quality is really important. Reptiles have very sensitive respiratory systems, and amphibians can absorb anything they come into contact with through their skin. And for that reason, any kind of chemical air fresheners like sprays or plug-in air fresheners or anything that burns like candles or incense or essential oils is very unhealthy for your reptiles. One reason air fresheners work is because they contain volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. And VOCs are organic compounds that have a high vapor pressure at room temperature. So they dissipate into the air and become a gas or vapor very easily from a solid or liquid. VOCs are also the reason that paint fumes and varnishes have such a bad smell, and they are also very bad for your reptiles. Now, before I go any further, I would say that reptiles are not smelly animals. Actually, cats and dogs are much more smelly pets than any reptile. And whatever species you're keeping, any reptile or amphibian enclosure should not smell bad. If you need an air freshener because your enclosure smells bad, then you need to find out why your enclosure smells bad and fix that. If it's a sterile enclosure, you might need to be disinfecting and cleaning the enclosure more often and replacing the substrate more often. If it's a bioactive enclosure, then you might not have that set up properly, or you might need to be doing more spot cleaning. A sterile enclosure should smell like nothing, if not fresh aspen shavings. And a bioactive enclosure that is well cared for and set up properly should have a fresh organic smell like the forest floor after it rains. But occasionally, if one of my bigger snakes takes a big dump, and I haven't gotten to that yet, that can smell pretty bad. And even though I clean out and disinfect my bins for my crickets, anyone who keeps feeder crickets knows that they can smell pretty bad sometimes. So even if you have your enclosures really clean and everything is right and your room is just still smelling musty, one thing you can do is open the windows and bring in some fresh air, or turn on a fan and circulate some air. But right now it's the middle of winter, so I can't open any windows. And that's one thing I love when spring and summer comes, is being able to open windows and get some fresh air in the house. But I like to walk into a room and really notice that it smells nice. I've been doing some research on this, and I have found that there's really only one way to add any kind of air freshener to a room that is safe for your reptiles and amphibians. and that is to simmer any kind of natural ingredients like citrus fruits or herbs or spices in a pot. And so I decided I'd give that a try and see what happens. You can do this with a saucepan on the stove in your kitchen, but my reptile room is on the other side of the house from my kitchen. So I found an electric potpourri simmer pot on Amazon that wasn't expensive. It was only $12. And I went to the grocery store and bought a few things. I got some cinnamon, some cranberries, and some oranges and lemons. And I also have some rosemary that I dried and saved from my garden. For this experiment, I put in some oranges, rosemary, cinnamon, and a clipped off piece from a spruce tree in my front yard. I chopped some of these things up and put them in the simmering pot with some water, and we'll see how this works. I'll let this go for an hour or two, and we'll come back and see if all of this was even worth the trouble. And besides, I need to take the dogs out anyway. You want to go out? Want to go out? You want to go out too? She's wondering why I'm filming her going out. Come on. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. They're both really good dogs. They're both really well house trained, because I take them out all the time. And they know they're going to get a treat. Come here, sit. Good girl. You're a good girl. Yeah. That's all you get. That's all you get. That's all you get. So let's go in here and see how it smells. Oh my gosh, it smells so good in here. It's kind of surprising how good it smells, but it's not overwhelming or unnatural smelling either. It smells like orange spice tea in here. And I can definitely tell you, if you want your reptile room to smell nice, this was absolutely worth the small expense and small amount of effort it took. Anyone who follows my channel knows that this room is my happy place. It's a haven for my mental health and a sanctuary for not only the animals, but myself included. So it's really pleasing to walk in the room and have it smell nice. I think it might be fun to play around with some different ingredients and see what different scents I can create. If you have any suggestions for that, I'd love to hear them, so just leave me a comment below. And that's all I got for today. I hope you found this useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.